Imagine a world where football was already loved, but there was no World Cup, no global champions, no Messi, no Ronaldo, no nation stopping everything to watch a single match. Hard to imagine, right? Yet, just over 100 years ago, that was reality. And then, in a small room, seven men made a decision that would change football forever. This is the story of FIFA. At the beginning of the 20th century, football was spreading like wildfire in England, France, Belgium, Spain, and beyond. Millions were falling in love with the game. But there was one problem. Nobody was in charge. Every country had its own rules, its own competitions, its own vision of football. International matches were chaotic, disagreements were common. The sport was growing, but there was no one to unite it. Football had a heart, but it had no brain. May 21st, 1904, Paris. A date most football fans have never heard of, but it changed history. Representatives from seven nations gathered together, not in a giant stadium, not in front of cameras, just a simple meeting, a simple room, a simple idea. What if football belonged to everyone? That day, FIFA was born. The Fédération Internationale de Football Association, a name that would eventually become known in every corner of the planet. But back then, almost nobody cared. No one knew what FIFA would become. Creating FIFA was the easy part. The difficult part was convincing the world. Football was still fragmented. Countries were focused on themselves. Travel was difficult. Communication was slow. Many believed a truly global football tournament was impossible. Imagine trying to organize a competition between nations without modern planes, without the internet, without television. It sounded ridiculous. And yet, FIFA kept pushing forward because they had a dream, a world united by football. Then came a man who changed everything, Jules Rimet. He believed football could unite nations, not through politics, not through war, but through sport. It was a radical idea, and in 1930, that dream finally became reality. The first World Cup, hosted in Uruguay. Only 13 teams participated. Many countries didn't even make the journey. Yet, history was being written. Nobody knew it then, but the greatest sporting event on earth had just begun. Year after year, decade after decade, the World Cup grew. What began as a small tournament became a global phenomenon. Entire nations stopped working. Families gathered around televisions. Children dreamed of becoming heroes. Football was no longer just a sport. It had become emotion, identity, hope, heartbreak. For 90 minutes, the world watched together, and FIFA stood at the center of it all. Over the years, the World Cup produced icons: Pele, Diego Maradona, Zinedine Zidane, Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi. Names known by billions, heroes, villains, dreamers, champions. Each generation creating stories that would live forever. And none of it would exist without that small meeting in Paris. Today, FIFA oversees the most watched sporting event in human history. Billions watch, millions travel, entire countries hold their breath. What began as seven men around a table has become a global obsession. A force powerful enough to unite people who speak different languages, live on different continents, and come from completely different cultures, all through one simple game: football. More than a century ago, nobody could have predicted what FIFA would become. A small idea became a global movement. A simple meeting became history. And from that history emerged countless legends. But among all those legends, one story stands above the rest. A boy from a tiny island who refused to accept limits. And in the next video, we will tell the incredible story of Cristiano Ronaldo. Until then, thank you for watching.